Welcome back to The Rosy Romantic. I'm Bree, and today we're going to be talking about Black rom-coms. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. Also, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe because we are almost at 1,000 subscribers, y'all. So tell your friends, tell your cousins, tell your aunties, and grab your drinks, grab your snacks, and let's chat. Before we jump right in the video, I just want to say thank you so much for all the love on the You, Me, and Tuscany trailer reaction. When I saw all the comments and everything on there, I was like, oh my goodness, like I'm so excited for the Rosy Romantic community and that we're just having fun. We're looking forward to You, Me, and Tuscany and everybody's getting their outfits together. Like I'm really excited about that. So let's jump right into what we're going to talk about today, which is Black rom-coms and also Black women leads in rom-coms. So let's start off with one of my favorites, which is Just Right, starring Queen Latifah and Common. And I saw this movie in 2010 with my mom and my sister in theaters. And this was like such an incredible experience for me because I was like, oh my goodness, I love rom-coms. But this is when I think I was in high school. Yes, I was in high school and I was like, loving all things rom-com, but to see a Black rom-com in theaters on the big screen, like I was like, oh my goodness, it was an amazing experience. And there's so many reasons I love this film, not only because I had that theater experience with my mom and my sister, but then most recently today, I found out that the producer of this film is Deborah Martin Chase.
As I live and breathe.
So if you don't know who Deborah Martin Chase is, let me tell you, because she has made a major impact on the film industry because she is the first Black woman to have a deal at a major studio. So think about your movies like Princess Diaries 2, yeah, the producer of that, the Cheetah Girls 1 and 2, and I think Cheetah Girls One World, yeah, Lemonade Mouth. The most, one that I love the most is the Brandy Cinderella. Yeah, also she's been a co-producer of Death Becomes Her, that was on Broadway most recently, and what else? Oh, a co-producer of The Preacher's Wife. Oh, and there's many more. Okay, so to think about that and what she has done for the film industry, and now look at Will Packer for You, Me, and Tuscany and all the films of his, like Think Like a Man, Think Like a Man 2, like these films that are making tons of money in the box office, showing that there could be Black leads and people will go to see these films, you know? So I'm really excited to talk about this movie because I had no idea. I was like doing some research and I was like, I can't believe I watched this movie how many times and I did not know that she produced this. I was like, this is why I love it. Okay. But let me tell you the premise, because if you haven't seen it, you need to see Just Right. So let me tell you.
It turned out so beautiful, I had to continue.
So Queen Latifah plays Leslie Wright, and she's a physical therapist, and she loves her job, and she also loves basketball. Like, she's a basketball aficionado. And so one night, they decide to go to a basketball game, her and her god sister Morgan. And so when they're at that basketball game, like Leslie's like, you know, right into the, you know, the action of the game and everything. Like she knows all the basketball stats, everyone on the team, like she's really into it. And Morgan's just there for the vibes, you know? But after that game, okay, Leslie goes to the gas station and she sees Scott McKnight. Like one of the guys from her favorite team is there. And at first she's like, okay, I'm not trying to freak out or anything and try to scare him off. But she was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go say hi, you know, how you doing? You know, I don't have to be like the super fan. So Scott is a little apprehensive at first, but when he sees that Leslie is not this like crazed fan, he's like, okay, we're vibing. And I was like, oh my goodness, they're connecting. This is so cute. And I want to, you know, see where their story goes. So he invites her to his birthday party. I was like, oh my goodness, like this is exciting. This is, you know, where the dating and the romance is going to start. So then she goes to the party, right? And then Scott sees her, he comes right over there. I was like, okay, girl, he's into you, right? But then Morgan's there and he, you know, he says hi to her, but he's, you know, looking at Leslie, right? Oh, Leslie, right? Get it? Anyway, but then once he goes and greets, you know, somebody else, he's like, you know, I'll be right back. And Morgan is looking at him and she's like, oh, he's fine. But then she realizes that Leslie's into Scott. But then Leslie's like, oh no, you know, I'm good. Like, you know, we're just friends. Girl, why? Like this guy is clearly into you. But then Morgan's like, are you sure? And Leslie says, yeah, I'm good. Like, you know, we're just friends. But I understand she gave you the go ahead. But if you see that your god sister is clearly interested in that guy and he's clearly interested in her, I'd be like, no, I would just find like somebody else on the team, you know, that's single and stuff. But sadly, that doesn't happen. Okay, so Morgan pursues Scott McKnight. Okay, and since Scott thinks that Leslie's not interested, then he and Morgan date. And then not only do they date, then later on they get engaged. What? Like, could you imagine that you're now going to be family? And I'm like, what? Like, and you had a crush on this guy, you were connecting, and now he's gonna be your brother-in-law? I'm like, no. So we also have to remember the fact that Leslie is a physical therapist. So why is this in, you know, the story? It's also because not only is her career, she's very successful, that Scott gets injured on the court one night, and now that he is injured, he now needs a physical therapist because they're trying to see whether he can get better in time, you know, for either the rest of the season or for next year, or does he not play at all anymore? And he has to kind of figure out life maybe after basketball.
So you look at me, we're in this together, just like we always are.
It's a warm and cozy rom-com. I love it. Like every season, okay? Whether it be summer, fall, it's a really good watch in the fall. Winter, like it's just right for me. It really is. It is. I love like fun, cheesy rom-coms because they just make you feel so warm and cozy inside. So I really do love this film, and I really hope you do too. If you don't, that's okay. That's okay. But I really love this film.
It's so beautiful.
The next film we're going to talk about is Rye Lane, and I watched this a couple days ago, and then I realized, why didn't I watch this sooner? Because this is really good. This is starring David Johnson and Vivian Oparah, and they play Dom and Yaz. So this all starts out, okay, in the restroom. So when Yaz goes to the restroom, she overhears that Dom is in the next stall, and he is crying, like really crying and sobbing, and we find out, okay, that Dom, his girlfriend, cheated on him, okay? But Yaz doesn't know this. She just like, you know, when someone's crying in the bathroom and you kind of just really are like, oh, like you feel, you know, sad, but you don't know the circumstances, and it's kind of awkward. And this is, you know, all these things of life and its awkwardness. This is all about, you know, this movie is just embracing the cringe, embracing the awkward, and this is where you find the beautiful things of life, right?
She's got a point.
So they find out they are both there for their friend Nathan's art exhibit. So they haven't met before, but this is how they're meeting up. And she realizes that Dom was the one crying in the restroom because of his shoes, and he's on pink Converses. So she's like, yep, that's that person. And now, you know, she knows somewhat the backstory, you know, for him, and she kind of feels for him as well. But then they're going home and they realize they're walking the same way. They're going to go through the Rye Lane market. And at first it's very awkward because she's like, I heard you were crying and things. And he reveals that his girlfriend cheated on him. And then she reveals that she left her boyfriend and broke up with him because he wasn't treating her right. So when they're kind of just unveiling these truths, and it's very vulnerable, that they decide, you know what, let's get to know each other while, you know, we're walking and talking. Let's, you know, start to tell things about our lives and our past, you know, relationships. And this allows them to become friends and get to know each other. And this, I love this part of the film because it allows us to see what it is to you meet someone and date someone almost like in real time, and how, again, awkward and cringy it can be, but it's fun. Like when you get to know someone new and you don't know anything about them, that there's so much like mystery to unfold, and also that you're vibing with the person, you're connecting. And then not only that, but the cinematography of this movie is beautiful. They use so much like color and vibrancy because you are, you know, basically finding someone that you're going to fall in love with. So all these like colors become brighter and more beautiful. And this is what I really like about this film.
It's a bit camp, but we'll go with it.
Next up we have Something New starring Sanaa Lathan, Simon Baker, and Blair Underwood. Now this story is about Kenya, and she is an accountant. And so she has her career, amazing career in, you know, the financial world, but she's having trouble navigating, you know, her love life. And it is like one day, I think it's like near Valentine's Day, where she has a nightmare about her future wedding. And she's like, okay, I really have to, you know, think about who do I want to spend, you know, my life with. And she, you know, is really, you know, thinking about this. And so she's telling her friends like, hey, like if y'all could, you know, help me on this journey, because I can, you know, navigate the financial world, but I can't navigate this, you know, whole dating thing. So they're like, okay, you know, we're gonna help you, you know, don't worry, you just take it one step at a time. But one of her friends sets her up on a blind date with this guy named Brian. So she goes up to the coffee shop and she, you know, meets up, you know, with Brian, and she finds out that Brian is white.
I thought perhaps the element of surprise would help.
It did.
So in her mind, I think she thought that Brian was going to be black. And so this brings up this whole, you know, narrative of dating and race and interracial relationships and things. And this movie is not afraid to, you know, shy away from these big conversations and topics and things.
That's something we should talk about.
But then later on, Kenya goes to a party at a friend's house and she sees the landscaping of her yard and she's like, oh, it's amazing, it's great. And she's like, yeah, because this guy, you know, we have a great landscaper here named Brian. And she looks at him, she's like, wait a minute. That Brian that I met up at the coffee shop did that. It's the same, oh my goodness. So when she finds this out, she's like, I want, you know, my yard, you know, front yard and backyard, I want it to look like that. Like, it looks amazing. It looks gorgeous. So she does that. And then while that Brian is working on the landscaping and things at her home, okay, they build a connection, right? Because he has to be over there. He has to ask her questions. What is your vision? What do you want here?
Turn around. We should give them some privacy.
Kenya and Brian are forming a connection. We also introduce the narrative of Blair Underwood, okay, into the dating scene. So it kind of follows Kenya's journey on, you know, finding love and also talking about race and politics and things. And it is a really great film. It is beautiful. Also, like the rain scene, y'all. The rain scene. Yeah, if you know, you know. So if you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend it. Now we have The Best Man. And The Best Man is more of a rom-dramedy than it is a rom-com, but it is still in the rom-com family. And this has an incredible ensemble cast. You have Ty Diggs, you have Sanaa Lathan, you have Nia Long, Morris Chestnut, Terrence Howard. The list goes on and on. Like, this was a huge film and also made lots at the box office. And so here is the premise. So you have Harper Stewart, and he is an author, and he has a book coming out called Unfinished Business. So you're like, oh, I'm really excited for him. It's on Oprah's book list. Yeah, Oprah's book club list. And so this is, you know, really exciting that his book's coming out. But at the same time, one of his best friends is getting married, and he is the best man at that wedding. Okay, but in the meantime, okay, Harper has his long-term girlfriend, and what's her name? Robin. Okay, so the long-term girlfriend of, you know, is played by Sanaa Lathan, is Robin, and she's just, you know, okay, she's in this relationship, but she's like, where is this going? Like, are we going to go to the next level? Like, I've been with you for a very long time, and like, you know, what's going on? But Harper's still kind of stuck. He doesn't know, I guess, how to navigate going to the next level, but we find out the reasons why, because it's within this book, because this book is about him and his old college friends, and this is who he's going to meet at this wedding, and he's also bringing Robin with him. So imagine you're at the wedding, you're one of his friends, and they're reading this advanced copy, and you find out that this book is about you. If I had to find out, I'd be like, wait. You're talking about me here? but he's also, you know, including himself in the narrative. But this is where all the comedy and the drama just unravels, and it's just really exciting to see the way people react to certain scenarios, things that have been hidden for a long time, basically, you know, or lying by omission. There's, you know, a lot of things going on within this story, but it is really good, and the acting is superb. The cast is phenomenal. So I highly recommend The Best Man, because it is one of the best rom-coms, rom-dramedies. Speaking of ensemble cast, let's talk about Coming to America. Now, Coming to America is more comedy than it is romance, but it is still a rom-com, and this is a great cast starring Eddie Murphy, Sherry Headley, James Earl Jones, John Amos, Samuel Jackson. Like, the list goes on and on for this film, and it is so funny. It's a classic, but let me tell you the premise. So you have here Prince Akeem, and he's from the country of Zamunda, and he has to look for a bride because he's going to be turning 21, and his parents are like, okay, because you're going to be future king one day, that you need to have a wife that's going to also become queen as well. But Prince Akeem's like, look, I'm 21 and I really don't know, you know, what I want yet. I want to also experience life, be independent, be on my own, and I just want to be like an average day person. You know, I'm kind of, you know, I like being royalty, but you know, I have everything handed to me. So when he gets the chance to go to New York, he goes and he's like, okay, I'm going to, you know, live my life there. So while he's on his journey of independence, he finds Lisa, and that's played by Sherry Headley. And these two are so cute because they first become friends, and they start, you know, hanging out more. And it's kind of like with Rye Lane, it's a little bit awkward at the beginning, but then they grow to form this connection. And then, but you also get to see the two families, you know, interact with the royalty family of Zamunda and also Lisa's family as well. And it's just, the comedic timing on this is phenomenal. Like, you will laugh like every minute of every second in every scene. There's something to just laugh about and have wonder about, but at the same time you're, you know, falling in love with the romance, and it's, you know, really cute. And a showstopper of a wedding dress. Like, the pink wedding dress is so iconic. It's beautiful. It is like one of the best things I've seen in cinema. Every time I look at the film, I'm like, do I need a pink wedding dress? Because if it's like that, I want it. So the last film on this list is Love in the Villa, starring Kat Graham and Tom Hopper. Now, this film right here is really silly and goofy, but I really love it. It's really cheesy and heartwarming. It also kind of reminds me of Watching the Detectives. I think that was starring Cillian Murphy and Lucy Liu. Like, y'all seen that? That is really silly and goofy. Like, probably 10 times as silly and goofy as this movie. But I love that one too. I don't know, it is something about it, right? So here's the premise. We have Julie, who's a teacher, and she loves the history of Verona, but most especially the Romeo and Juliet of it all. So she sets out this trip. She saves her money over years upon years, right? And she has here her long-term boyfriend, and they're supposed to go on this trip together. But lo and behold, he breaks up with her just days before the trip.
Lord, I'm sorry, but your boy's out of line.
So she is devastated, and she's like, you know what? I spent so long trying to, you know, figure out the strategy of this trip, the research, and saving up money for this trip. I'm going on my own. So I was like, good for you, Julie, because I was like, don't let him, you know, lose out on all your fun just because he decided, you know, to be like, you know what, one day, I don't think, you know, it's working out. Like, okay, whatever. You know, if you don't like her for who she is, we don't need you. So she goes to Verona, and while she's in Verona, she has this like beautiful Airbnb, you know, basically, you know, this kind of like bed and breakfast almost. And then she finds out that this place is double booked. So she's like, okay, my boyfriend broke up with me. I'm trying to get to this trip. This trip is very expensive, and now I have my Airbnb double booked. And she double books this Airbnb with a guy named Charlie, and Charlie is a wine expert. He's supposed to be here that very same week for a wine expo. And so he needs to be there as well. Everything else is booked in the area, so they're like, okay, what are we gonna do? So the person that's in charge of scheduling all these like Airbnbs is like, I am so sorry, but if there's any case that y'all could share, you know, this place. And they're like, share? Like,
Wow, that's an intriguing proposition.
They really lean into the really cringy and awkward and funny moments of this movie that I really enjoy. And the chemistry is good between Kat and Tom. So if you like, okay, right, stay with me on this, all right. If you really love silly and goofiness, then you'll love this movie, okay? But if you don't, that's okay. Because I don't want you watching it and going, Brie, why'd you recommend this? What is going on? Like, why are they throwing plates and things? And, you know, and this man's getting, you know, trapped out of the, you know, Airbnb. Like, what is going on? This is wild. Then yeah, okay, then that movie is for you. But if not, okay, then the other movies previous, you know, might be, you know, for you that I would recommend. Okay, and there's a lot of more movies that I can list, like Think Like a Man, Last Holiday. Like there's a ton. It's Southside with You. That would be more of like a rom dramedy. Like there's many to list. So let me know in the comments down below what you think of these movies and other movies that either you want me to review, talk about, and things. I would be happy to do so because we love talking all things romance here. So I hope you have a comfy, cozy rest of your day. And also remember to subscribe if you haven't already. All right, have a good one. Bye.